The job. I tell a story like a perforated colon coming into your scatterbrains, a loose group and a buckshot, further splattering thought-shattering veins, which are eviscerated like you woke up at 5:40 a.m. Threw on the dirty clothes you wore the day before because you work in a warehouse. And if anybody judges the way you smell, especially anybody over 30, then they seriously need to question the decisions they made in life, peregrinating out of the house into the chilly natural standpoint. Peregrination. You ain't never heard of that word. It's from the French word for pilgrimage because it is truly a religious experience to work where I work. Not the enlightening experience where you see Jesus healing a school of lepers with leukemia in Lithuania. It is the kind of religious experience where your mom makes you take a bath in dirty bath water that everybody just used. But you don't take a bath. You just stare at the gray water, waiting until you were there long enough to tell a believable lie. Then your parents drag your stinking little body to church, smelling like ass through those thin cotton nylon pants. Going to work at that warehouse was that kind of religious experience. Got into a Caliganus Camry coupe, started the car, and then turned on NPR because I'm an inept bleeding heart. Liberal enough to complain about poverty and able to hate our capitalist overlords who would still be filthy rich, even if they invested in the underprivileged a little, but still enough of a piece of shit to not have any issue with unpleasant design. That's that's what cities do to force the homeless away from places where we can see them, like parking bus stop benches with the armrest in the center that makes it hard for people to sleep unless they have spines that curve like a parabola. Needless to say, I'll say it anyway, I didn't want to work. I was mad. Hot as Syrian civilians firebombed by Assad. Hot as a Philly helicopter bomb dropped on kids and their mamas in urban brick and stone buildings. But you know what? This was my last day of work, and when I got to work, I was going to tell my supervisor, don't test me, like I told the ACT proctor. By the way, I did very poorly on the ACT. I suck at test taking. Not sure if my poor performance was from not studying or if it was from me randomly filling in every circle so I couldn't possibly be wrong. You ever make images with the A, B, C, D answer dots? I drew a snake before I filled in the rest of the circles. Those graphite circles were a clue, a road to my future. I drove down that road north to Morgoth, down streets Caliganus, malicious as my style is stylish as a pile of platinum scripture. These streets were bestial, like the place where Frankenstein's monster fights with Herbert West's monsters with a hatchet. That's where we get the term bury the hatchet. The supervisor was that which lurked in the scenario cubicle in unctuous prison encampment, where he launched nooses. He was one of those creatures from the isthmus on vacation in Shio. I seriously considered pooping on a portrait of his family, but he was so monstrously hideous that he would have just thought that I had cleaned it. I arrived at work as early as an abortion. That whole job felt like an abortion because I had to take orders from an abortion. I was disheveled, appearing derelict, revealing the badge, the chain to that unctuous isthmus prison encampment. I ambulated up the stairway, which was pale and never-ending, like the Pressure Harazade reciting Sylvia Plath's poetry on the gallows. See, that nooses metaphor makes sense now, right? Or not. In the office, one gets the bends because one is suffocated under mountains of paper, fountains of files. I crept into the supervisor's cubicle. I really wanted to tell him that he was a terrible, sexist, gerbil, mad monster face, doo-doo headed, shit-nosed, manatee mouth, molasses screwdriver, gerrymandered fast spasm. These would be the torpedoes I'd spit, grammatically, extraordinarily seditious syntax, but I just asked the ogre for an assignment. And as I was drowning on the production floor, he sent me to the darkest, coldest storage room in the building, the place where we kept the burned files, files burned in a previous conflagration, shelved in boxes on a steel mesh floor. He had a gaze as Caliganus and malicious as my style is stylish as a pile of shit. Truly felt like a lukewarm pile of shit picked up like dreams, dashed and crumbled into the final level of Shio. I resided in the final circle, ice bathing with the devil.